Hi, I hope you are here to learn more about data architecture practices. In this short video, I'll discuss the challenges associated with defining the data architecture. Unfortunately, within the data management community, we have pretty different opinions about the definitions and structure of data architecture. After watching this video, you will form your own opinion about this concept and how you can map it with the approach taken within your organization. This video is a part of a free webinar I conducted in October 2023. At the end of this video, you will find the link to the recording of the whole webinar. Governance. Let's discuss approaches to classifying an organization. Companies can be classified in various ways based on size, business model, and structure. Here are some common classifications. I wouldn't go deep in it. For example, for today's session, we need to think about size-based classification and geographic classification. Why it's so important? It's important by one reason, because according, at least it's my opinion, the companies, different companies require different data architecture. So this is my viewpoint, and if you have more questions about it, I can I can share my opinion about it later. But now let's briefly discuss enterprise architecture. The TOGAF standard, I hope you know it, is the standard by the Open Group, and it's a proven enterprise architecture methodology and framework used worldwide. This standard recognized four types of architecture, enterprise architecture: business, data, application, and technology. There are some challenges associated with the viewpoint of DEMA and TOGAF. DEMA considers data modeling and design as a separate data management capability. The TOGAF standards recognize the deliverables of data modeling as a part of data architecture. So it's again my conclusion that no aligned definition of different enterprise or data architecture exists in our community. What is even more interesting that very often in the data management community, they combine all these three types of architecture: data architecture, application, and technology, in one term, data architecture. So it's again call for action when you start speaking to somebody about data architecture or data governance. Please ensure you speak the same language. This slide presents the definitions of various architectures. It's again, I'm not going to dive it now, but in the TOGAF context, data architecture designs data models at various abstraction levels: conceptual, semantic, logical, and physical. Application architecture describes the structure of applications that manage data assets. And I'd like to share with you that TOGAF combines data and application architecture in one term concept: information systems architecture. That makes a very big sense, because usually, in 99%, I think, we speak about digital data, and you can separate digital data from some application or database. And technology architecture describes technology services and components that manage application and data. And the data mesh concept, for example, considers all the three types of architectures, and stipulates that every data domain is accountable for all these architectures. This is simply a slide that visualizes what I've just discussed: data architecture about data models, its top level; application architecture designs and implements a data lifecycle; and technology architecture enables applications. This slide is only for the confirmation of my earlier made statement. We within the data management community have not aligned our understanding of data architecture, because you can see that some people say it's pipelines and cloud storage and cloud computing. Great. But here we are. Just now, I want to perform a brief poll because I'd like to know, or I'd like to ask you to share your experience regarding the type of architectures which you recognize in your company. So please share your experience. I will wait for 1-2 minutes because I am very curious. This is multiple answer questions, or you can choose multiple options. I will wait a little bit. I see now it's yes, almost 70% of participants completed. So let's wait a little bit. Okay, I think I will end poll and share the results. You can see finally it's very interesting and positive feedback that many companies recognize all this architecture type. Okay, thank you very much for sharing your experience, and we can continue. Now I want to share one of my professional challenges. I am not an enterprise architect. I read and come across multiple data architecture types. I was searching for information systems architecture classification types and relationships between them, but I failed. So I spent time creating my vision of various types of information systems architecture and their relationship. So all you see on the slide is my interpretation of the specific context and goal. I am sure enterprise architects may have different viewpoints on the topic, and I would really appreciate your feedback on it. So what I put here, we can speak about central network types as like centralized, decentralized, distributed, federated. We can also discuss data architecture from their perspective of data management systems or data life organizations like data warehouse, data lakes, data lake houses. We can speak about deployment options and others. It's again, I'm not going to discuss everything, but for the purpose of this webinar, I will discuss mainly centralized and decentralized architecture. So I split it in two pieces, so centralized architecture and decentralized architecture. And I think that data warehouse, lake house, data lakes, data fabric represent the centralized architecture, and decentralized architecture is data domain, business data domain, and data mesh architecture. But from my viewpoint, one of the most significant differences between these two types of information systems architecture is the way to implement a data lifecycle. In the centralized architecture on the left side from my viewpoint, a company implements a data lifecycle across the different business domains. Data warehouse, lake, and lakehouse represent the centralized information systems architecture. In the decentralized architecture, each business domain is accountable for the whole data lifecycle. And business domain and data mesh architecture are examples. However, I would like to share with you that business domain can also be realized in the centralized architecture, but this is more for upcoming masterclass, not for now. So now, thank you for watching this video. This is a link to the whole recording. You can find it at the Data Crossroads Academy site.